In this video, we are going over 7 weird signs you'll become a pro soccer player. So this video is going to be a little bit different. I already have videos going over the things you would expect, like being consistent, looking after your body, and doing some more of the physical things. But this is going to be going over some of the things that aren't talked about as much, yet a lot of pro players, especially at the top level, had, usually internally, usually in mindset, and more of the intangibles that can be a bit strange, but definitely help them in some capacity to get to the level they're at. So that's what we're going to be covering. That's coming up next. This video is sponsored by Rocket Sports, where you can actually enter to win a free goal from them. I love these goals. They're so easy to assemble, and you're able to use them at a field where you may not have anything else to use, no goals, no equipment. And I love to use them for my own training sessions, whether I'm by myself or with someone else. They're great for team trainings, and the great thing about these goals is they only take a couple of minutes to put up and to take apart. And they also come with their own carrying case so that they're easy to transport to and from the field. Let's get into the video. Guys, my name is Dave, and this is Simplysoccer, where we are releasing videos every single week to help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. So if you haven't already, hit that sub and bell icon so you don't miss any content. Also, we're having a Christmas sale right now. You can get 50% off pretty much all of our training programs. That'll be linked below. Now, I'm going to do this video a little bit differently, where it's going to be more like a raw one-on-one conversation with you. I'm not going to really do much B-roll or much editing with this, because I just want to get into flow and really go over these things. And again, although the physical stuff is incredibly important, and I will link down below the other videos that go over the physical things that are going to help you be a pro player and become that in the future. These are absolutely important as well, and you are really disregarding them at your own peril if your dream is to become a pro player. So we're going to go in reverse order, starting with number 7. Guys, before getting into the first one, as we're going through this video, what I want you to do is let me know in the comments which signs apply to you. So for example, let's say you hear 3 of them that apply to you. Let me know in the comments, oh, okay, sign number 7, sign number 4, and sign number 2 apply to me. Let me know down there, because this is going to be something I can then give you some feedback on, and it also helps you to solidify this, rewire your brain in a certain way to look out for these things more often. So number 7 is you're in flow while you're playing. You're using your instincts more times than not. Many players are really forcing things, they're getting in their head, or they're struggling to complete things because they're failing to get into flow. And usually a player will fail to get into flow because, like I said, they're in their head. I mean, when you see Lionel Messi beat 3 or 4 players, within a matter of seconds, do you think that's coming from him thinking about that, or do you think he's just in flow? He's doing what he knows how to do. He's doing things instinctively. Now, you may not be able to do this at the level that Messi does it, and yeah, that will take a long time to ever come close to that, but it doesn't mean you can't use this to your advantage now. You want to do training that's not always so rigid and encourages you to be able to react in the moment in a flow-like state. Flow is one of the most powerful states you could ever be in as an athlete, because again, a game is unpredictable, meaning you can't rigidly expect certain things to happen. You have to be able to flow with the natural pace of the game and do things instinctively. So if you find that you are already doing this, then that is a great sign. You're going to go on to a high level if you keep at it and keep honing your instincts and honing your ability to get into flow. And if it's not something you're good at yet, make sure this is something you're working on, because it's incredibly important that when you're in matches, you are able to flow, or you are able to move instinctively in the game. So number 6, guys, is you do things that impress others, and I mean other footballers, but they seem normal to you. I mean, I'm sure we can all think of that player, or you may even be this player if this is one of the signs, but one thing that may happen is you're doing all these things, like maybe it's certain dribbling techniques, maybe you're scoring certain goals and people are asking you, how are you doing that? But to you, it's just normal. And I remember for myself, when I was a kid, this used to happen all of the time. I just loved football. I didn't really know what was good or what was bad, but I would score certain goals where people would, go like, whoa, that was incredible, or how did you do that? And I would just go, what do you mean? I scored the goal. That's what I'm supposed to do. That was fun for me. That's what, was just normal for me, because I lived, breathed, and and slept football. But if that's something you find yourself doing more often than not, one, it probably means you're doing well at getting into flow, which is good. But two, it's a good sign that you are really far along in your ability. If you're scoring absolute bangers or really good finishes, if you're playing through balls that for other people are very difficult but come naturally and are easy to you, this is a great sign that you were destined for greater things in this sport. So number 5, guys, is you see yourself already there. You see yourself as a pro now. You see yourself as, it's like a foregone conclusion that you're going to become a pro. You already live the lifestyle, you eat the food you need to eat, you're doing the stretches, the recovery, this training sessions, all of that, and you know it's only a matter of time before physically you sign that contract. Now, the reason a lot of players kind of balk at this and really don't want to take on this mindset is because they believe, and this is really the main reason, is they believe they'll be made fun of if they feel that way, because people will be like, well, you're not. What are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. But if you can see it as your reality now, guess what? You're gonna start acting like that now. And if you can get over what some people say about you, this is such an important, such a critical, such a powerful mindset to have, because it works on the state of total certainty. And when you have total certainty in something, you are allocating so much energy towards that goal that you have in mind. So if you see yourself as a pro player now, you know that it's going to happen. You're going to start to move, think, and speak differently than if you're someone like, oh, I don't know if it's going to happen. You know, I just got to keep going, whatever it is. But you never actually move into the identity of a pro player. Well, then it's really, you're going to struggle a lot more, and you're not going to have as many opportunities. You're not going to, have as much motivation, inspiration, all these other things than if you were just to see yourself as it now and then move from that place. So this 5th sign is such a big one. And if you can see yourself as a pro now and start acting from that place, you are well ahead of the game. Number 4 is you brush mistakes off easily. I can't tell you how many players are living in the past all of the time and then projecting that past into their future so they don't make those same mistakes. Now that sounds like a pretty good strategy, right? Like, look at your past mistakes and then project them into the future so you don't make them again, but they're not doing it in a way that actually helps. They're doing it in a way that makes it more likely they'll make the same mistakes because they're getting nervous. They're thinking that making mistakes is this terrible thing that they'll never recover from. But the best players, the ones that do make it to these high levels, they're able to brush off mistakes easily and focus on what they can control in the moment. Because the fact of the matter is, if you beat yourself up over mistakes, you hang on to mistakes you've made in the past, you are trying to control something that is already concluded and something that's outside of your control. But what you can control is instead understanding that's in your past, that's something you did previously, that's absolutely fine, you can learn from them, but you take those lessons into the present moment and you move from right here, right now. Because if you linger on these past mistakes and then it makes you less likely to take the risks you need to make, or it makes you less likely to play in the way you're used to playing because you made a few mistakes, that affects your game in a very negative way, especially if this happens over a long period of time. This affects your confidence, this affects your ability to be totally certain in certain things, and so the players, a huge sign of the ones that are going to get to that high level are the ones that can really bounce back from those mistakes very, very quickly, and have that mentality and also learn from them but not linger on them. Number 3 is an interesting one, and you're gonna want me to explain this one to you because at first you might be like, what? But it's you prioritize the things you need to do to become a pro, but you don't put that much importance on it. And this is something that's actually gonna apply to universal laws. This is something that just is the case with most things, and you can observe this with most people and pretty much anyone in your life. When you prioritize something and you schedule it out and you do all that, that makes it way more likely you're gonna follow through. So you need to be doing that. But you're not putting all of this importance on whether you achieve it or not. Because the players that don't make it, or the people they don't usually make it to whatever it is they want to make it to, are the ones that put so much emphasis and importance on it that they end up pushing the thing away from them. Like it becomes life or death that something has to happen. And I know in a lot of motivational videos, some people say, you gotta want it more, do you want to breathe, all that stuff. But that is when you allow a lot of struggle to come in. And hard work is not struggle, by the way, guys. Hard work and pain is not struggle. Struggle is when you are so mentally attached to something that it's creating this mental struggle, this physical struggle, and this can actually lead to physical pain in your body. This can lead to you becoming so overwhelmed that it then hurts you on your journey. But you're not putting so much importance on it. You are basically saying energetically and to yourself that I'm going to put priority on this, I am going to do everything I can for this, but I'm not going to try and control things I cannot control. So I will be able to sleep happy knowing I woke up every single day, did everything I can, and moved myself closer to that goal. But if I didn't achieve it, or something happens, I'm not going to then beat myself up over it. I'm not going to get depressed. I'm not going to have all of these things happen. And when you put so much importance on something that it becomes this has to happen, you are trying to control things that are outside of your control. And this is absolutely going to affect whether you make it ultimately to that goal of yours, which in this case is being a pro player or a high-level player or whatever it is for you. By putting so much importance on it, you actually start pushing it away. And this is applied in every area. This can be applied in business. In fact, I learned this from someone who is a mentor of mine, who is a very high-level business person, and he's done so many incredible things in that area. And he talks about this lesson, and it's such a lesson that so many people don't understand, but can have such an importance or such an impact on your life. If you just lower the importance of things and instead raise the priority, they're two different things. But when you put so much importance on something, ultimately it's just going to lead to your burnout. It's going to lead to you doing things from a place of struggle instead of a place of how can I do this the most effectively and efficiently and do it in a way that's actually going to get me to that result, because that's going to cloud your judgment, putting so much importance on it. So I know it's a strange one, but it works. So give it a go. Number 2, guys, is you don't allow your ego to sabotage you. And this is staying grounded. Again, this is one that is kind of similar to some we've already gone over, but how many players do you know that allow their egos to get in their way of progress or get in the way of them getting to a certain level, or in life in general? So many people are walking around with untamed egos. Their egos are running their life. No one's paying attention to their ego. They're not, trying to tame it and take control of it so it can serve them to their purpose. But having an inflated ego is going to hurt you more than most things. And you can give me as many examples of players who you think have a huge ego, like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Ronaldo. I always get that. Don't confuse confidence with arrogance. Don't confuse confidence with ego. They're two totally separate things. You don't get to that level with an ego sabotaging you. But most people will, and this is what it looks like with an ego, they'll have one good game and go like, I'm the best. That is ego. Or they will, have an embarrassing moment and have to prove someone wrong. That is ego. Ego is only going to sabotage you, while if you can remain grounded, that is what's going to take you further and further. The grounded individual is the one who can have an amazing training session, but stay rooted and know, okay, I have to have another one the next day. The grounded person is the one who can have an amazing game and not get too worked up about it because they know, okay, they have another game next week. They're the ones that know that what got them to the point they're at now. Ego is the thing that's going to make you think you're so good right now, you don't need to keep doing the things that worked. And this is why so many people, for example, struggle to develop habits where they do a few, habits for like a month or two, they're starting to develop it, they're starting to get the results, and they think, yeah, I'm good to go, forgetting what got them there. And so that's why you need to make sure you're taming your ego. But if you're someone who already has control of your ego, you're someone who understands not to come from that egoic place. Confident, yes, totally separate thing, but not ego. You're grounded. That's a good sign you're going to make it far in whatever it is you're doing, really, but in football as well. And number 1, guys, is you daydream about it all of the time. And this plays on the law of visualization. I don't know if it's called the law of visualization, but it plays on visualization. Daydreams are essentially visualizations, and visualizations can be incredibly powerful. And if you find yourself daydreaming all the time of playing at the pro level, of playing incredible in matches, of the process of you getting there, the workouts, the recovery, the eating, all of it, and you are sending out that information, you are making it way more likely that you're going to align to it, and you're going to take the necessary action in the so-called real world to get to that point. Daydreaming is just aligning you with that goal, that mission, that vision that you have. And the more you're daydreaming about the thing that you truly want, the closer and closer you're going to get to it. It's already been proven that your brain cannot tell the difference between what we call reality out here and a very, very vivid visualization that you're having in here. If you are being vivid with it, bringing all of your senses into it, bringing all all of what you would experience in the real world into your visualization, you can actually fool your brain into thinking it's real. And I think you can understand the power of that. And that's why if you're daydreaming about this all the time, about you being a pro, about, again, the lifestyle of that, about the training sessions, the eating, all of that, that is a great sign that you're going to make it, so long as you're then aligning to that and then taking the actions needed to get there. But daydreaming is going to make it so much more likely that you will. All right, guys, so once again, put down the signs in the comments of which ones apply to you. So again, if number 3 and number 5 were the ones you're like, I'm aligned to those, hell yeah, I'm experiencing those, put them down there. I would love to see which ones they are. Again, guys, these might be weird. That's what it says in the title, but these are absolutely true and can absolutely help you. And I think when it comes to most things in life, if you really want something, leave no stone unturned. Do the physical stuff, but do the mental stuff, do the spiritual stuff, do the emotional stuff, whatever it is, whatever's going to help you. Use all of these tools available to you, because again, you want to leave no stone unturned. You want to, at the end of the day, get to whatever it is you want to get to. So don't worry about what anyone else says about it. Experiment, explore, and if it works for you, take it on board and keep running with it. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to put 2 other videos up on the screen to help you to continue to learn, to grow and improve as a footballer. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.